Hello teacher, I am Johan Quispe and my classmate Heidi Aliaga. We are going to explain to you what are the things that we have prepared for our demo class. So first of all, what is the topic that we choose to present in our demo class? So the grammatical point that we choose to present is the superlative adjectives, and the vocabulary point that we choose is about piece of clothing. As you have here in the objective for our demo class is to teach our students clothing vocabulary and how to use superlatives in a communicative and meaningful context. We have a timetable that also that is practically what we expect from our students that they already know, and what is the objectives at the end of our lesson. Practically increase their clothing vocabulary, make them use the superlative adjectives very easy, and practically make them able to describe the person's clothes using superlative adjectives. The overall aims that we have for our demo class is practically make them being able to work in groups, organize each other to work effectively, work by themselves for a group objective, and design different clothes with paper. Now, this part is related with the last activity that we have prepared for our demo class. So don't worry about it, we are going to explain it later. So continuing with the general things that we have for our demo class, we have the anticipated problems and solutions. What are the challenges that we probably face at the moment of applying our demo class? So the first problem that we have is a limited vocabulary, and the solution for that is to help our students with vocabulary lists. In this case, less related with the topics that we are taking, that we are talking about in our demo class. Then in this case would be a list of words related to clothes and some adjectives that they can use to describe those pieces of clothing. The other one is lack of knowledge about a topic. What we can do here is to motivate our students to use the target language in the best way they could. The next problem that we can probably face is the lack of confidence. For that problem, what we can do to solve it is to elicit from our students what they know about the topic. The next one is the lack of technology. We know that we are applying this demo class in the university, and obviously there we have technological resources, but we can have some problems with the electric supply. So in the case we have some problems with electricity, what we are going to do is to use the board, markers, piece of papers, or pen of pencils to develop all the activities for our demo class. And finally, the highly limited writing skills. That in this case, the solution that we found for it is to encourage our students to make their best effort. We know that they are beginners and probably they will struggle with the things that they have to do, but we are sure that they will be able to do the activities in the best way possible. So finally, what is the methodology that we choose to present our demo class? The methodology that we choose is the 5Es model. So starting with the first stage, the engage stage, the aim that we have here is to make our students remember different types of garments, or in other words, piece of clothes, by using the students' mental representation. The role of us as teachers is to be facilitators, guides, models, provide instructions, model and simplify the activity, and practically say or pronounce the words for the adjectives or piece of clothing in the clearest way possible for our students. And what they will have to do is to hit the correct option if the clothes mentioned by the teacher belong above or below of the human body. So practically what we are going to do here in this engaged part is to use the warm-up of the flight shooters. So what we are going to do is to bring two shooters that contains the words above or below, and we will put them in the whiteboard. So then we're going to separate the classroom into groups to make them obviously compete between each other. So what we are going to do is to provide a set of words. We the teachers, we are going to write a piece of clothes in the board, and the students will have to hit the correct option if the piece of cloth we wrote is in the upper part of the body or in the lower part. Now, being practically the separation between these two parts in the hips, in the hip, of course. So this is practically what we are planning to do. So the time that we will probably take for this activity is 5 to 10 minutes. Now, the following activity we have planned after the engage part is the explore part. So what we are going to do here is to make them classify and expand their knowledge about words related to clothing. The role that we have here as teachers is practically the same as the previous activity, the only difference that what we are going to do here is to provide our students with a reading sheet to each pair of students, because we are going to make our students work in pairs here to make the activity a little bit easier for them, and obviously to make them work in pairs to facilitate a little bit more collaboration. So the students' activity that they are going to do here is to highlight coloring words and adjectives as quickly as they found the words. The description of the language focus that we are going to reinforce here, or well, not reinforce, we are going to implement or introduce here, is nouns and adjectives that we are going to use to develop the following activities. So this is the material that we are going to do. That is a print fashion article that is practically this one that you have over here. This one. That in all of it contains practically diverse sentences that contain superlatives about some adjectives, some superlative adjectives, and some piece of clothing that they can identify. And that's it. The following parts my classmate Heidi Aliaga is going to explain to you. But well, before I finish, the time that we are going to take for this activity is from 2 to 5 minutes. Now let's continue with my classmate Heidi to explain the rest of the stages that we have here.
Okay, thank you, Johan. Now we follow the third stage that is explained. The overall aim of this stage is to demonstrate the correct use of superlatives using sentences related with clothing vocabulary. Then the teacher works as a facilitator, guide, model, monitor. So this is a class, a short presentation about the correct use of superlatives, and also teacher offers students practice with sentences. So they have to solve grammar exercises problems here in order to practice this. So for example, here we have the presentation, which is a Canva presentation and we start by this one, these words, because we want to teach inductively, so then students have to notice their grammar rule, that is to add est at the end of the adjective. And then we have the long adjectives that you don't add this rule, that you talk the most. So here we have the form, for example, but they are realizing how to use. Then the irregular superlatives. So here we have, and also we remember the comparative words. And then here we have the exercises that the teacher is going to provide. And then, for example, here is a very interactive activity, because he said, is the tallest person in the class. So then students can notice also by the output who is the tallest person in the class, and then you said, oh, you can notice. Then here we have this part that you could complete as it is correct. So then it finishes, as we don't have enough time to explain in the whole class. We'll explain is just a part. Yeah, okay, so this is basically what students have to do at this point, and they are going to use only 5 to 10 minutes to understand here this part of the correct usage of superlatives. Then we have the fourth stage, that is elaborate, and probably this is the part most enjoyable of the whole class, because here the overall aim is to design creative pieces of clothing made of paper to describe someone's outfit in a communicative setting. Okay, at the beginning probably you couldn't understand this, but we have to do this is that the teacher explained the students have to create pieces of clothing using the paper, the newspaper paper. So they have to take a piece and they have to cut and, for example, make a globe. So they start drawing the globe and then with the scissors cut the globe, and then they stick on the body of their classmate, in this case the leader, the globes. So at the end they will present and they say he's using the worst or the best globes in the world to describe the outfit of the leader. So as we have 5 groups of 7s and 1 group of 8, we have to have almost or at least 5 pieces of clothing and 1 leader, or even more. So students select their roles. Here there are not much roles because we have a leader and the designer. So each student is a designer. So then start identifying a clothing item, a garment. So they decide how to design. So they start doing that and they prepare the sentence to describe what they do and describe the outfit using the superlatives. So the materials required for this as big sheets of paper that we thought that we will give to the students. As we don't know them, we can bring the material. Scissors, usually students have scissors, as is a group, probably one of the group have scissors. If not, we can also bring some pairs to them to give them. Then markers, colors, pencils, as they want to decorate his pieces of clothing. For example, you cut your glove and then you could color your glove, or making some drawings, say flowers, decorate, okay, if you want. And then we have a timer because sometimes these activities are not are really fast or really quickly, and the students cannot notice the time. So here we have a timer in the YouTube with music that we will play. Okay, and we have the 15 minutes timer to where to make the entire outfit of the leader. So as we have this time, they could create at this time. We know that they can. Then we have the last point, that is evaluate, and this is a good point because you check the progress, you know what they think, you know if your lesson plan has function, have been successful. So to value students group work between them. So for this part, we choose that teacher ask each group of students to evaluate their classmates. So the students are going to grade their classmates, not the teacher. So they have to grade 1 to 4, 1 out of 4. And each group will decide the grade, and the leader is going to sign with their fingers, with their hands, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. And then the teacher add the points to get a grade. This is a grade. So here they are evaluating themselves. So also this is made in groups. We have 5 to 10 minutes because it is also made in the elaborate part because they are going to present. So here, that is what we have. Here we have the feedback part, that is to analyze the important points of the class and correct the students' mistakes. Sometimes students can have a specific problem with the use of words. For example, here in the irregulars, the problem is the most powerful because we don't know the irregulars a lot. Also in the clothing items, probably they don't know what exactly is a piece of garment. So you could give feedback and say, okay, this is a sweater, if you don't know. Yeah. So but the words that are difficult to work with them. So, and also you highlight the positive way that they work, you motivate your students to continue working, and students are going to realize their errors, their mistakes, and say, okay, I need to improve in this, because they can think. So they are going to avoid those errors. Here we need just the previous knowledge that we have studied, clothing, superlatives, and the previous knowledge that they have in their entire life of studying, of learning English. We don't know materials, just the voice of the teacher and the students' concentration. Then this is with the whole class, and we don't spend a lot of time at this part, because is a conversation, and sometimes the students get bored with those. So 5 minutes is good to this activity. We have our signatures that we made this plan, and then we have our annexes. This is the Canva presentation in the explain part, the timer in the elaborate part, the reading passage to explore, and this is all for today. This is all. So we expect that this plan really works in a class. Thank you so much.